Good morning, everybody. It's Sunday, a sweltering 61 degrees here in Gettysburg for this Memorial Day weekend. Laughing at all the suckers going to the beach. You sit in 4 hours of traffic because you gotta get to the beach on Memorial Day weekend, and you're gonna freeze your nipples off. All right, have fun, have fun. But I'm just as much a sucker. I'm going into work because there's no such thing as a holiday weekend, or frankly a weekend, at Addressing Gettysburg. Go to dhpioneers.com and help change that. Good morning, Jeff. 75 degrees where you are. Good for you. Lucky you. We are in a polar vortex here in the Northeast, apparently, and it's wonderful, just wonderful. But good morning, Gene. Good morning, Gene. We're heading into Gettysburg on the Fairfield Road, about to enter Fairfield, which, Fairfield is really, really cracking down on people speeding through the town. And of course, that makes sense because you've got, well, let's see here, as we hit the outskirts of town, we've got a school on our right, which this is one of the reasons why I don't go into work early, because it's 15 miles an hour here during school, morning and afternoon. And I didn't even know a car could go 15 miles an hour, like maintain it. You know what I mean? I thought it's just 15 miles an hour is on the way to 60. So there's that. But then you get to town, which is 25 miles an hour, which is where we are here. And of course, every once in a while you see a cop hiding somewhere, although I don't believe municipalities have radar. I mean, they can still tell you're speeding, but they don't have. I think it's only the staties who have radar in PA. I'm not sure if that is true, but that's what I heard. And if I heard it, it must be true, right? So there you go. Good morning, Barbara. How are you doing? David, good morning to you. Momo says hello. Good morning. Momo says, we'll be there next weekend. Everyone have a great Sunday. You too, Momo. Thank you very much. Gail, good morning. Ty Webb says, can say this is the first year in a while where we actually had something that resembles spring. Ty, I was just saying that the other day. This is the way I remember spring when I was a kid. And then about high school or so, we had this type of weather for maybe a month, and then immediately, and like by now, it was 80 degrees and hot. And then I kind of appreciated the fall more because it was a long period of time where it was really, really hot, and fall was kind of a welcomed relief after a while. But now I kind of feel gypped because I'm one of those people who comes alive when the weather's warm. I kind of mentally hibernate. I don't do much in my life in the winter because I hate being out in it, and so all my memories are bright and sunny. They're not gray and with a white blanket on the ground, because I die a little bit in the winter. So I love this weather, but I like it warm. I'm wearing a jacket. I'm wearing a jacket, guys, and it's almost June. Where are we? Alaska? What will Delaware? I don't know. Alaska. Aral Packman said hi. Hello. I hope I pronounced your first name right, or your last name. I hope I pronounced it both right. But welcome and hello and thank you and good morning and hi. Kevin says, just drive correct speed like we're supposed to. I can't, Kevin. What are you, nuts? Come on, I can't do that. Peter says, good morning. Went and saw Matthew Brady's childhood home area yesterday and a bunch of William Tate's paintings yesterday. Oh, very nice. Very nice, Peter. Kevin, is that Benoit? How do you say that? Good morning, Ron Moore. Good morning. Aralp said hi again. Hello. Jean says, I was at an outdoor wedding yesterday in Western New York, and most everyone was. I'm so much for wedding fashion, When your loves. Dustin says good morning. Good morning, Dustin. Kevin says good morning, first time here. Good morning, Kevin. Welcome to your first time here, or to you on your first time here. Jeff says winters here in Tampa are nice. Never have that problem. I know. I always wondered if I grew up in an area like that, or somewhere where it was always warm, would I have been more productive in life, and would I have gotten further by this age? I think I would have, because you only really, the way I look at it, like, so what, I'm 46. What's half of that? 23? So in my mind, I'm really only 23 years old. I've only lived 23 years of life. The other half were spent waiting for the warm weather. It's really pathetic if you think of it. But that's just the way my mind was wired. And nothing I can do about it now. Peter says, if you get pulled over, say you got to do number 2 to badly. Is that a good... I've always wondered if that was... I think some cops would let you just shit your pants, to be honest with you. Kevin says, oh yeah, Matt, sorry for the suggestion about correct speed. I forgot you're from Jersey. Exactly, Kevin. We don't... First of all, can I just say something about correct speed people? You are the most annoying drivers in the world, and I'll tell you why. My dad's one of them, and it drives us nuts. We go on the highway. If the speed limit's 65, he sets the cruise control at 65. We go in the right lane, and my sister and I are hysterically laughing as old ladies in a 1984 Oldsmobile Cutlass, or whatever, the Buick, whatever the hell, whoever had the Cutlass, it just zips by him at 80. And we're like, Dad, you're going so slow. He goes, what? It's the speed limit. And I go, it's the speed limit, but you're slower. You're 20 miles an hour slower than everybody else. You may think you're going to get the gold star on your report card for this, teacher's kiss ass, but the reality of it is you're more dangerous than the kid going 95 miles an hour, because you're gumming up the works. Thank you, Semper Fi. Clearly, Semper Fi agrees with me about what I'm saying about speed limit people. No, he says, thanks for the stream. You're very welcome. Thank you for the donation. Anyway, yeah, so my dad does that, and it drove us absolutely insane. If we ever caravanned somewhere, like we took more than one car, the rest of us would get there days before my dad. And now, now I'm going 2 over the speed limit right now, because the speed limit is so slow. But it's like, if I don't know, like, it's, I guess it's okay. You want to do the speed limit, you don't want to get the ticket, that is great. But if you see me riding your ass, or anybody riding your ass, do the kind, courteous thing and pull over. Get out of our way and let us go. Now, that's the New Jersey in me talking. But you know what? I'll tell you what. The one thing that people in Jersey don't have to deal with is a slowpoke. And when we do, we just gobble them up. Here, it's different here. Here, it's a different type of driver. And I don't know what's behind it. Is it because nobody's in a hurry? That might be it. Nobody's in a hurry around here. There's no such thing as a 5-minute conversation that literally can turn into an hour and a half. I'm not complaining. I find all this stuff delightful, to be honest with you. My stress levels have gone down since I moved here. There isn't that rat race, that grind that we had in Jersey. So I hated that, and my anxiety's through the roof. This place is more my speed. I'm not complaining. But when it comes to driving, I still have Jersey. I mean, I want to get where I want to go, and I want to get there quickly. I want you to get out of my way. And if you don't get out of my way, now my day is ruined, at least until lunch. And then once lunch comes, I'm okay. And then I can finish the day. Yeah, speed limits are for suckers, let's be honest. Are a maximum, not a minimum. Correct. That is absolutely for others. Let's see. Peter says just about an hour north of me. It's 6 or more weeks behind us with the leaves. Blah. Yeah, I'm always max 7 miles over the speed limit. Most people are. Especially on the highways. Everybody's on the highways. People treat the speed limit like it's the minimum. It's not. That's what they treat it like. And I don't know. The thing is, it depends on where you live. You gotta. This is such a terrible thing to say, but it's true. It's like I think most people, once they're aware of the saturation of police officers in an area, then they realize that they can get away with a lot, until you crash into a telephone pole. But like, and then when you realize that there isn't radar, so then it could be, I don't know. I still don't think you should go 90 miles an hour on a road like this, but 50 and a 45 isn't going to ruin anybody's day. Maybe it will. Who knows? Kevin says, yep, I had a girlfriend once from New Jersey. I'm amazed at the perspective New Jersey people have on life. Well, you have to understand, our perspective on life is solely comes from a trauma experience of living in New Jersey. The people who are still in New Jersey don't really understand this, because you just get, it's like the what do you call it? The frog in the boiling pot of water. Like, it's just a slow. You don't realize it until you hit like 55 and you have a massive heart attack. Because you're constantly running around. It's harder to eat healthy when you're constantly running around, because if you grab stuff on the go, it's all bullshit, crappy, shitty food for you. Although I have to say, New Jersey does have a wider array of restaurants, and you can find healthier places to eat. But for the most part, it's just constantly running around, constant stress. Everybody's miserable. While you're driving, you're on the phone, doing some kind of business of some sort or another. There's always something going on. And so our perspective on life is based, it's kind of like, almost like how combat veterans look at the world differently. I was actually having a conversation with another Vietnam vet the other day, and I'm working on him to let me record him, because he's only recently started to open up about his experience in Vietnam. And he said that when he came back and he got back into normal civilian life, his friends, he didn't relate to them anymore. But also, he went and started 3 businesses without any fear. And he goes, basically what he was saying was what he had already gone through in Vietnam. Like, there's nothing the civilian world can throw at him that he couldn't handle or that he should be afraid of. And he's right. And I think a lot of people from New Jersey sort of have that same outlook because of the trauma of growing up and living in New Jersey. It's a trauma response. Like, you look at the world differently. It's like, why are you doing that? You did that in 8 steps. It could be done in 3. We just see the world in streamlined terms because we have to, and we have to streamline everything. And slow people on the highway, they just need to be ran off the road. I'm sorry. Jeff says, New Jersey people are unique. I had family that lived in Newark. Well, that's the superest, uniquest of the areas. One e-nerd said, morning, on my way to get the new Adams Winery release. Oh, speaking of which, look, you might be a year from now, might be something a little interesting for you there, from Address in Gettysburg. Donald says, good morning. Good morning, Donald. Ty says, not many know this, but Matt's ancestors were in the Donner Party and avoided being cannibalized by being 4 weeks behind everyone else. His great-great-great-granddad being slow is why Matt is here. Yeah, because he read in the owner's manual of the team of oxen that were pulling his Conestoga wagon that it's best to go at a certain pace, and he did. He never pushed it. He never went further than that pace because that's what the manual said. And now, because of him, I can ignore the manual. Zach says, top of the frickin' morning, mate. Bitcoin helps give people the tools. Oh, Zach. Oh, Zach. Sorry, I have to ban you. I'm sorry. You're a spammer. Sorry, Zach. Sorry. And there you are. You're gone. Babber says, I once went, it moved up on me there. She says, I once considered moving to Williamsburg, Virginia, but I don't think I could take the slower pace down there. Yeah, a lot of New York, New Jersey people say that, or city people, I guess. And okay, good for you. You like that. I never did. I was always more plodding, and I like to take things a little slow and then hit the ground hard. Like I don't not hit the ground hard, hit the ground running. I don't like to. I like to look before I leap, and then I like to go hard at it. Is what I'm saying. And here you can do that. Jersey, you can't. You just can't. You got to keep going. And it's not really my thing. Kevin says, how true about people leaving New Jersey? I went to high school of 2,000 population. Kid from New Jersey moved in and had control of all activities in about a month. Yeah, because the rest of you people do it like you got all the time in the world. And you don't. You don't. We're all going to die. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? How long is it going to take you to do this? Not long, and then you could be possibly in a better situation. That's what we think. We think, what are you doing with your time? I wonder where that comes from. But I have learned to appreciate that, just enjoying your life is also a good thing to do. And I don't know a lot of people in Jersey who do it. They do enjoy their lives, but they enjoy it by leaving New Jersey. And people go on vacation all over the country, but I feel like it seems that I never hear of somebody from Jersey saying, oh, we just had a nice weekend and stayed home and worked around the house or painted the barn. Oh, right, because everybody lives in tightly cramped neighborhoods, so they don't have barns. But I don't know. I know a lot of people here who can literally have a vacation at home, because people here, their home lives are more enriched, and there's I don't know how to explain it. Yes, we have our neighborhoods where everything looks the same, and you can pee out your bathroom window and get it in coffee through their kitchen window. You're that close to them. That we do have that, but that is a new phenomenon around here. And for the most part, the real life here is having some space and kind of just making it your little playground. Peter says, driving through Iraq, we used to bumper bump vehicles going too slow in front of us. Oh, I wish we could do that. God, you guys had a good time over there. Ty says, AG has its own crypto coin. I can't read this because of the glare. What is it? Camcoin. I love that. It never really caught on. That's true. Michael, good morning to you. Grant says, New Jersey gave us Springsteen, Sinatra, and Matt Calorie. Don't forget Bon Jovi. One of these is not like the other. I know Springsteen has no class, but the rest of us, including Bon Jovi, we had some class. Matt C, did you record the Monocacy tour? No, Matt C. I always get confused when I read from you because I think I'm talking to myself, which I often do anyway. No, I did not. I'm not recording any of the tours this year, only because I got to be honest, I'm completely zonked. The last year burned me out, and if I'm going to do video and if I'm going to take the time for that, I'm either going to raise the money to hire the people, or I'm going to be selective in my video work. And as much as I would love to bring the Get Out of the Car, there's still 3 tours from last year that we recorded that I have not put out yet. Yeah. So as much as I'd love to do it, I don't have any more time in my schedule to do all of that. And plus, I have to be the hostess with the mostest, so I can't be videotaping. I have to have somebody else do it. So the people I know that can do it either come at a cost, or well, that's it. So yeah, sorry. Sorry, Matt C. I hate to disappoint myself, but it happens sometimes. Kevin says, of course that kid from New Jersey got busted. Which kid from New Jersey? Who are we talking about? I missed that. I'm lost. Matthew says, my time in New Jersey was at Fort Dix. It wasn't my favorite time. Well, down there, especially back then, there must have been not much to do, right? Because there's not much to do there now, although it's built up more. Mara Karen says, I just joined. Where are you? I love the forest. Okay. Mara, come on. I know you're not real, but thank you. Let's see, where do we go here? This is the Emmitsburg Road, for those of you wondering. We're going to cross. This is the peach orchard on the right. Well, span more than just the right, but that's what's left of it today. And we move on. We move on. As much as I would love to take you down into the Valley of the Beavers, I will lose service. So I can't. Because I will lose you. And I will forever rue the day. In fact, I can't even really go down near the Trossel farm. So we're going to take a rather disappointing route here. And I'm sorry to say that I'll go slowly go slower than I'm supposed to, so that you don't have to. I just saw an older couple taking a selfie out in Excelsior Field, and I am perplexed by American tourism. Matthew says, at Fort Dix, my drill sergeants made sure I always had something to do. Oh, I'm sure they did. Momo, did I thank you? I'm sorry. Thank you for the super chat. I don't know if I thanked you. I'm thanking you now again, or the first time. I don't know, but whatever. Thank you. John B, that's what I'm saying. Selfie on the battlefield, isn't that a bit grim? I just I don't understand. I don't understand how we don't understand. And I say we, I'm not better than anybody. I include myself in this criticism. I don't understand how we don't understand where we are when we do things like that. I just, I don't know. It seems for me that the more I do this, the more I learn about this, the deeper my respect for them goes or gets, and the less I'm willing to have fun with it. And I don't mean not do a joke or two or on the show or have fun on the show, but I mean selfies on the battlefield or whatever. And I always used to say that man needs to feel small. That's why we have religion. And if people are atheists, that need to feel small still exists, and so they put it into man-made institutions like government and science and things like that, the academy. And I guess I'm neither religious nor an atheist, because religion isn't necessarily I believe there's a God. I just don't think any religion gets it right. And so I'm not an atheist either. But I think my church, if you will, is this place here. And I feel it's, I don't know. I don't know. I'm starting to get uncomfortable with the way we treat it and the way we view it. But there's nothing I can do about that. I could just not do it myself. I can control my behavior, but I can't insist that other people see things the way I do and treat it the way I think it should be treated, because I could be wrong. I don't know. And the soldiers who fought and died here might disagree with me. They might say, no, man, like, let them have a good time. I don't know why you would, but who knows? Maybe they wouldn't mind a woman in lingerie straddling a 3-inch ordnance piece. Maybe, I don't know. I kind of think that's disgusting. Oh, let's see. Matthew Gillespie says, get yourself a coffee, Matt. Have a great day. I will get myself a coffee. At the end of this little tour around here, I will certainly do that, sir. Thank you very much. Well, thank you for doing the tours anyway. I try to get to as many of them as I can. Have we met, Matt? Because I have to meet the other Matt C. John says, even if it's my state's marker, your selfie with marker seems like you aren't getting the gravity of it. That's what I'm saying. Take a picture of the marker, but you in front of the marker, I don't know. It's just weird. But whatever. We're weird people. Tennessee Brigade A&V says, we were in Gettysburg last week. Really enjoyed it. It's a great place. Was that your first time, Tennessee? Ty says, as George Carlin said, I worship the sun, but I pray to Joe Pesci because Joe Pesci is a man who can get shit done. Yep. Let's see. Yes, my name is on the raincoat at the last tour. My name is on my raincoat at the last tour. I'm sorry. Did I see it and say something? Is that what you mean? I'm sorry, Matt. I don't have a good memory. I meet a lot of people and I forget things very quickly. And usually when I meet people, I'm in the middle of doing something, and that's really where my mind is, so it doesn't get stuck in the memory bank. Forgive me, please. Tennessee says yes. Oh, because first time. Okay. I'm assuming you're coming from Tennessee, Tennessee? I hear Tennessee is nice. You know, we have a listener from Tennessee named Matt McClanahan, and he came on as a guest on Ask a Gettysburg Guide, and we teamed him up with Charlie Fennell. For those of you who don't know, we will let a listener come on and ask a guide as one of the experts. We'll just team you up with a licensed battlefield guide, so, you know, you're not throwing out the wrong information. And anyway, Matt came on to talk about Archer's Brigade, which, of course, as you might know, had some Tennessee troops in it. And what was the point? Oh, people really liked Matt. I liked Matt. I think he did a great job, and he had fun. And I looked at the schedule the other day, and I saw that Dave, our scheduler, has him coming back and is also teaming him up with Charlie again. So that would be fun. I don't remember what we're talking about, but from the Nashville area. I forget, where's he from? Crossville? Is that right? Something like that. You said it's right there. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I remember that. Oh, I thought you were a different Matt. Matt, oh, that's funny. I mistook you for another Matt, and now I'm confused because I can't remember what the other Matt looks like. See what I mean? I get so easily confused. Too many people to meet. But you know, the way I look at it is meeting a lot of people is about the experience of who needs to remember names, you know? It's not the name you remember, it's the experience. I was at a thing and some guy came up to me and he had this really funny joke. Or I was at a thing and this woman came up to me and she asked me a question I'd never heard before. It's something like that's what you remember. When you're on your deathbed and your brain isn't working anymore, if you remember any of these experiences, you're not going to be worrying about the name. You'll go, some guy came up to me. He said, hey, Jack, hey, but this is no joke, anyway, and then you die. And your family goes, oh, that's how I envision my death. Grant says, thought about new coffee names. How about the High Water Mocha? Now we have one, and it's coming out soon. Actually, the due date, if you will, is July 2nd. It will also be at Devil's Den Donuts, where you can get a cup or a bag, as well as a cup or a bag of Little Ground Top. I do believe they're going to be the exclusive coffee blends over there, at least to start. That's what I hear. But you sit, you meet with people, you think you're going one way, and then everybody goes back home and they get to work on their respective tasks, and it evolves in their experience, but they forget to tell you. And then, so I wouldn't be surprised if by the time Devil's Den Donuts opens up, there would be more than Little Ground Top and our new blend coming out. But at this point, at least, we're able to comfort ourselves by thinking that we will be the exclusive blends over there at Devil's Den Donuts on the Fairfield Road. Live reveal of what, Peter? Like that kind of a live reveal? A live reveal of the new Oh, yeah. No, we'll do all of that stuff. I guess I'll tell you now. The name of it is Devil's Blend, instead of Devil's Den, of course. It is a dark roast with a bit of an espresso, whatever the hell. I heard the word espresso in there. So it's, for those of you who like yourself a strong, dark tasting coffee, then you will like the Devil's Blend. It's roasted with the fires of hell, and it'll be available at Bantam Roasters. It'll be available at Devil's Den Donuts, and of course, it'll still be available at addressinggettysburg.com/cafe. I'm loving it. Do you have a favorite spot on the battlefield? Asked Tennessee. I have a couple of them, and I think they're subconscious favorites because I find myself gravitating towards them, but I never really go, let me go out there. It's a couple of spots on the first day's battlefield, the McPherson Farm. Not necessarily the ridge, but the farm, like where the farmhouse would have been, and where the or was, and where the barn is today. Out in that field where they are, not on the road. Although sometimes I don't have the time to actually get out and go in the field, so sitting on the road and looking or driving by is enough, and that's what I will be able to get out of it. Also on the first day, is that other place where the Peace Light is, Oak Hill. I like it up there. That's a great spot for sunsets. Any place out there is a great spot for sunsets. And then Where else? On the southern end of the field, I like to go to the Angle. And sometimes, Little Round Top, of course, is a breathtaking view, I think, and I love it. It's a great place to go, but it's often crawling with people. And when there's kids there, they tend to treat it like it's a jungle gym, and of course the parents don't stop them. And it tends to aggravate me more than anything when I go up on Devil's Den when there are tourists around. But I do love Devil's Den. Not Little Round Top. But I do love it nonetheless. Still, it's not one of my favorite places to go, mainly because of that. And I'll show you here. Let's go. I'll show you another favorite place of mine, which you can drive through, and you see some interesting things. Let's go together, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, we're going through the famous gatehouse. There we go. So you can see what we have in here are graves. And that's where dead people go. But you've got some interesting things as you go through here. First of all, you're going to see a lot of names that if you've read about the battle, you'll recognize, because a lot of them own farms that the battle was fought on. But this fella here, where that obelisk looking thing is James Geddes, the proprietor of Gettysburg, as it says. Born August 14th, 1759, died March 10th, 1815. So there he is, the man for whom the town is named. But you have a lot of other names up here. I'm seeing a butt, because there's a plumber over there bending over for something. But also I see on the tombstone butt, and there's a butt farm that it plays into the Confederate story. There's the Pfeffer farm. There is, let's see, Troxel is another name. I see Ziegler, Shriver, guys. Okay. What was some of the other ones I'm seeing? Of course, you're not seeing these because they're off to my side, and I'm sorry about that. But there's a whole bunch of them here. Menchie for Menchie Spring. Oh God, I'm probably driving past more than I'm seeing. Culp. There's a whole Culp section to my right. More Shrivers over here. Sterner. That's, I think, a later. I don't know. Brown. I don't know if that's the same Browns, but there's Brown Farm, and then let's see. Plank. I see some Planks. We have Plank's Farm, but there's also Eddie Plank. Spangler right in front of us. Bushman right in front of Spangler. So you can see there's a lot of names that you'll see here. Let me get out of this person's way. I'm sorry, lady. I didn't know you were there. Look up here as we come up. There's a guy walking around Jenny Wade's grave. And he's probably wondering, why the F would you bake bread during a battle? And right in front of her, we see Tipton, Kitzmiller. These are all names, especially if you listen to Tim Smith's talks, or you go on Ken Rich's walks. You're going to hear a lot of these names, because these are the townspeople, and they all had stuff going on. And it was a small town, 2,400 people. So you must imagine that there was a lot of intermarrying. You have a lot of, there's like 5 families. It's like the mob families all marrying each other and everything like that. And eventually you start to become cousins, and then it's weird, a couple generations down the road. And then people's eyes are growing farther apart as they're born. Like weird things like that. And but it is what it is. Troxels, we've got Houks Ridge, McCreary, Pitzer, more Pitzer, Sheeds, the great Colonel Sheeds. Is he in there? He must be in there. These are old Sheedses, though. So these are probably the Carrie Sheeds era of people. Yeah, because these people are dying in the 1860s, 1848. Those are the old farts there. Okay, we got, yeah, they go back. They go back. Daniel Culp here. Emma Culp, Anna, Mother Harrison, a lot of Culps. Margaret Culp. Anyway, you get my point. More Spanglers right there. Right there's more Spanglers. Another plank. Bream. There's a bream. So you get the point, don't you? I think you do by now. I think you get it. McCurdy. There's another one. Nixon. Richard Nixon is here. Jeez, who knew that? Good Lord. Okay, and then you go down. It gets a little more modern as you go down, but you know, off of this side, you still have some. You've got some mausoleums there. Goldsboro. When did they die? 1961. So these people are later. Warren. Okay. But we've got another. So you noticed that Jenny Wade had an American flag flying over her grave 24/7. Got another one coming up here, and I'm sure a lot of you can guess who it is. Bloker. I just saw Bloker. Or Blocker. I'm not sure how you say it. Bream. Another Bream. Bupp. There's a Bupp. We have our friend John Bupp, a listener. But this one here is our buddy John Burns. There he is. Burns. And I want to show you something. There's some soldiers' graves over here. And these are the ones that Elizabeth Thorne dug after the battle while 6 months pregnant, or whatever monthage she had under her belt. No pun intended. So this is another favorite place of mine to go because it's, I don't know, it's just, it's cool. It's like, it's just another, it's a weird, I don't know how to explain it. It's a weird way to feel closer to history, you know, to go and stand on the grave of someone that, you know, really owned a piece of property that a battle took place on. They didn't really do much, but some of them did. And I don't know, it's just, it ties it all together. It just makes it more real. And it's a cool thing to go drive around when you get a chance. So, you know, definitely see the National Cemetery, but don't forget the Evergreen Cemetery is right next to it, and you can go walking through it. You can ride through it if you want. You know, don't bring a bus in there. Don't be an ass about it. You can't bring 50 people in. But, like, you know, you're there, you and your significant other or whatever, you just take a little drive through, walk through, roam around, see what you can see. There are, you know, modern people whose graves are there and their families are still around, so don't be a jerk. But don't be a jerk because it's a cemetery, period. Even if it's an old one that nobody's been in anymore. Come on. I mean, you know. All right, let's see. Sorry. Let's see. All right, let me pause over here. I'm going to park. And then we're going to talk. And we're going to figure out what everybody's saying. because that is the way to go. All right. So let's see. Do you have a favorite spot? We did that. Good morning to all. Good morning to you, Reed. Good morning. Matt is going to be playing the time to make the donuts guy, the Devil's Den donut commercials. Dave says, "Hi Matt, how'd that sky get all blue? I like that. Have a great day." Peter says, "I picture the Lucifer matches going logo on the bag." Huh. Yeah, we're working on the logo now. Ty says, "That's what my college roommate used to tell me in the morning." I missed it. Grant says, "You on the grass? All good." Yes, I'm on the grass. What are you talking about, Grant? So I was on the jokes, blah, 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 blah. Just trying to read this. I asked GPT to describe you, Matt. Matt's like the Dan Sickles of podcasting. Unpredictable, dramatic, long-winded, and somehow he's still likable. That's probably right. 100 Nights of Tap starting soon. It is. I'm going to say probably tomorrow. I don't know. You'd have to ask somebody who pays attention to dates, because I don't. Jeff says, "Good morning. Happy Sunday to everyone." Ty says, "Good morning, Jeff." All right, so it is time for me to go get a coffee. And with that coffee, I shall come to life. And with that life, I shall produce. You guys have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your Memorial Day weekend. Tomorrow, Bethany and I are going to do our, parade video yet again. And we should have fun with that. So we'll be actually on the porch, I believe, here at Bantam Roasters. So if you're in the area, stop by, say hi. And otherwise, that's it. You guys have yourselves a great day. And I'll talk to you later.